First question here comes from Fort Clip, says trade for Darius Slay. I'd like to, but Philadelphia's not going to give him up. Philadelphia traded for him this offseason. They have a third-round draft pick and a fifth-round draft pick. They have a two-draft pick to sign Darius Slay and then sign him to a contract extension. The Eagles have loved what they've seen from Darius Slay. He's been the best cornerback in Philadelphia for a very, very long time, dating back probably to Asante Samuel. So you'd like to trade for him. It's just not going to happen because Philadelphia's not going to give him up. David says, can we pull the same season like the Eagles last year with all the injuries? That's actually a great comparison. You got to remember, Philadelphia last year had 0 starting wide receivers healthy. They had very few offensive linemen. They lost everybody in the secondary and still won their 4 final games and went to the postseason. Now, the difference, the Eagles were in a bad division, the NFC East. The Cowboys finished 8-8. They were second last year, whereas the 49ers will not have a team finish 8-8 this year in the NFC West. And if they do, it's probably last place in the NFC West. So could they pull off a Philadelphia Eagle type resurgence in the second half of the season like they did, like the Eagles did last year? Yeah, I think that they should. But at the same time, they're not going to be division winners in that case. They'd be wild card guys, which still get the playoffs either way. Wouldn't really matter. Maybe you play them, the Eagles, in the first round of the playoffs, because the Eagles are probably going to win their division. No says, should I cancel my Sunday ticket? Oh, sorry, we went past that one. Oh, there it is. Should we cancel my Sunday ticket subscription? No. An NFL Sunday ticket is fantastic. Why would you cancel that? Listen, the Niners, hope is not lost. Even if they lose next week, hope is not lost. There are 7 teams that are going to get into the postseason in the NFC. You could be the 7th seed and make a run. So it's not over even if they lose. Plus, NFL Red Zone, right? Come on, NFL Red Zone's the best invention in the history of mankind. You got to keep that up there. Daniel says, trade Pettis and a 5th for Ryan Kerrigan. The Washington football team would never do this, by the way. Ever, ever, ever. They love Ryan Kerrigan. Kerrigan is and has been one of their best defensive players for a very long time. Now, Chase Young is there, so you're saying, well, he's going to replace him, but Kerrigan's been fantastic. First off, Pettis stinks. Does he even have a catch this year? I think he has less than 5 catches this year, and a 5th-round draft pick would never do it for Ryan Kerrigan, so no, not a chance. I would love this trade, but the Washington football team would never do this. Now, what I do love also is 49er jerseys, and we have some official ones right here for your buying pleasure at chatsports.com/49 jersey. All authentic, all Nike, all the real deal. The white Jimmy Garoppolo one right there. How about the black Deebo Samuel one you see on your screen right now? Wrap that, and maybe Deebo will start playing a little better than what he has. How about you wear this one, the Richard Sherman one? That way he comes back healthy and ready to go for the second half of the season, as it's looking like he is going to be able to. Miss Nick Bosa? I do too. Maybe wear this one. That way he can come back in 2021 and be the best pass rusher in the NFL as we were expecting him to be this year. And then he didn't end up being because he got injured. Man, I hope he comes back good, and hopefully he's able to. Again, chatsports.com/49 jersey, the place to go ahead and pick these up. Link is down below in the description box. All the authentic ones. People always DM me on Twitter at Earl Thomas Mott saying, Thomas, the jersey's back up. They're all there. Link down below. Go ahead, get one. Luis says, in one of your recent videos, you were talking about OBJ trade. Do you think the 49ers should trade for OBJ? And when 49ers win, OBJ was caught telling Jimmy G, take me with you. You remember this last year, right? This was the last year when the 49ers clobbered the Browns, and you heard the post-game audio where it was, exactly what you said. Take me with you. You wanted to come play for Jimmy G and the Niners. Well, those days are gone, and I say they're gone because he's happy in Cleveland. Surprisingly, they're a good football team. Cleveland's 4-1. Cleveland had a big win and had a great offensive win against a very good Colt defense on Sunday. Put the Colts to 3-2 and the Browns to 4-1. So, would you like to trade for OBJ? Sure. Is that a possibility? No, because I'm telling you, he's happy to be a Brown right now. The Browns are playing great football, and the Browns are not going to trade anybody as long as they're winning and have a chance to go ahead and go to the postseason for the first time since 1775, the last time the Browns were decent and in the postseason. So I'd like to, but it won't happen. Dreamer says, let's go out and get Kaepernick if Jimmy keeps struggling. Well, keep dreaming 100 because that will absolutely never happen. As we talk about week in and week out, nothing to do with Kaepernick off the field. This has to do with Kaepernick on the football field. When was the last time you saw Colin Kaepernick? Think. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. And what was he doing? He was getting benched for Blaine Gabbert. I know, but his stats were good that year, Thomas. Who cares, right? I don't care about stats. I care about winning. And he didn't in his final couple of years in San Francisco. And guess what? He's not played in 4 to 5 years. As you and I know, if you don't do something at the highest level for 4 or 5 years, the odds of you just waltzing back on a football field and playing well is nearly impossible. So no, they're not going to go out and get him. And I don't think that they should either. I think you keep Jimmy Garoppolo. I would take Jimmy Garoppolo over Colin Kaepernick every day of the week, even if the Niners go 2-5 and 14, just because I don't think Cap can play because it's just been that darn long. I don't think Cap wants to play either. He's had his chances. He just don't want to take a very, very cheap deal, and I understand and respect that. Super chat here from David. David, what is up, my man? I appreciate you. If we run 28 and 24, SF, I'm guessing will we win if we run both of them? Obviously, you're talking about Mostert and McKinnon. I hope so. I think that's the plan on Sunday. You got to slow down that Ram pass rush somehow, and the way to do that is to run the football. Now, let us lead us into our next question here is who's been the most disappointing 49ers so far? This goes to the offensive line. You can argue the secondary's been bad. You can argue the linebackers have struggled, at least on the outside. Alexander and Greenlaw not being there. Warner's been fantastic. Maybe Tartan Ward, yes, sure. The most disappointing 49ers so far, obviously, has been the offensive line. So I say Trent Williams. I said it earlier. Trent Williams has been terrible, and he has his shoes filled on Sunday and his hands full with a very good a Ram pass rush that leads the league in sacks with 20. Hala says, why has Shanahan stopped running the ball? We need to go back to our strengths. I agree. The problem is you got blown out on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins, and you had to throw to get back in it. The Dolphins scored 46 points. So a lot of times you see people saying, run the ball, but you're down 21 with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. You don't have time to run the football. So early, yes. But later on in games, you're getting blown out. No, you don't need to because you got to throw your way back into it. So if they get a lead on Sunday, you bet your bottom dollar they're going to run the ball against the LA Rams. Aiden says, what can we lose for Matt Ryan? I don't know what it would take to trade for Matt Ryan, although we talked about this in our news and rumors segment. This is not going to happen. I said before, there's no chance that they're going to go ahead and trade for Matt Ryan, even though ESPN, Dominique Foxworth floated this out. It's just not going to happen. It's insane. I don't think it would take a first-round draft pick to get him, though. I think a second or a third would do the trick. The problem is you don't want to have to pay him the almost $40 million a year he's going to cost the next couple of years. I mean, he is a contract nightmare. And so it wouldn't take a first because he is old. He's 35. Take a second or a third. I wouldn't do it. I don't think the 49ers would do it either. Now, worst case scenario is Jimmy Garoppolo plays terribly, and you do this. Yes, Tammy, you release him in 2021. You don't release him this year. You release him after the football season. That way you free up all the money because, of course, you have to pay him who's on the roster, even though you don't have any dead cap money. But I digress. You would let him go and then sign somebody or draft somebody. That's fine. But we're so early, 2 and 3. Oh, it's so early. It's way too early. So, no, they're not doing it anytime soon. At the end of the year, we'll talk about this. But right now, no. Wyatt says, should we get a new receiver? Which one do you want? There aren't any. That's the problem. I mean, I just want to trade for the trade deadline, and not very many are rumored to be available right now. There's no one in free agency that makes sense. You want Taylor Gabriel? You want Jarius Wright? They're not good receivers. So should they get a new receiver? No, I think once Debo is 100% and Ayuk starts to figure things out, they're going to play a lot better. Jason says, our final record looking like, he says 8-8. I think 9 or 10. That's what I said at the start of the year. I said 10 wins to start the NFL season. Everyone freaked out and said, no, it's got to be 12 or 14. I said, listen, it's good division. That's exactly what I said. And guess what? I was right. I think 9 wins is probably the most realistic thing happening right now. 8-8, 7-9 is your worst case scenario. 10 is your best. So go right in the middle. I say 9 wins is what their final record is looking like. But if you win on Sunday, it goes a long way. It goes a very long way in terms of improving the season. Pickle Acronym 16, that is a name, says 49ers lose to the Rams on Sunday, and we are out of reach for catching up to LA and the Seattle. So the 49ers just try to get the best draft pick we can and upgrade positions that need upgrading. If you lose on Sunday, you're 2-4, you're not done. I think you want to go to the postseason every single year, and I think this team can go to the postseason every single year. If they get blown out by the Rams on Sunday, maybe we'll have a different discussion. But even at 2-3 right now, and even if you lose, if you go on a run, you get to 9 wins, you can still be a wild card team with the expanded playoffs this year. So I don't want to do any tanking yet. Tanking is what bad football teams do. The Niners are not a bad football team. They're an injured football team that can be good when healthy, and I think we just be patient and wait for that. But Sunday's a big game. I'm not going to lie to you. They need to win on Sunday, and we'll see what happens when they take on the LA Rams Sunday Night Football there in Santa Clara, up there in San Francisco. Orlando, another question. What up, Orlando? Traded Emmanuel Sanders. We need him back for the offense of Jimmy G. He hadn't been very good down with the Saints, and you can blame Drew Brees' arm for that, but I just wouldn't. Sanders is old. They had a chance to re-sign him. He wanted to go somewhere else, and so I'm done with them. I like their young receivers. They just need more playing time and for Debo to go ahead and be healthy. I don't think trading for like 33-year-old Emmanuel Sanders makes a lot of sense. It does make sense. You guys subscribing to help us get to 30,000 subs. How about that? We're very close to 30,000 subs there, less than 700 away. So go ahead and click the big red subscribe button, whether you're watching live or watching this later on in the week. Either way, we appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you're not subbed, as a lot of you guys obviously are, go ahead and click the big red subscribe button down below. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. Also, turn the notification bell on way you guys are notified. My notification bell is on. I was notified on my phone right when we went live. I could have watched myself like Inception. Next question here comes from Luis. Says, yes, I understand Dante Pettis is awful right now for our team, but if someone would take him, just use your imagination, what team do you think would? Gosh, I don't even know. He's been so bad. Like who would trade for a guy who's been awful? I mean, and not just like bad, like absolutely awful. Pettis with 12 catches last year. Think about that, 12. This year, he's on pace for like 8. He's been awful. I have no idea for a team. You want to? I use my imagination. I can't even think of one. I literally just thought about it. No, can't think of one. No one wants Dante Pettis. He's going to be cut after the end of the year, and that'll be the end of it. Why not sign Trumaine Johnson? Because they don't need him. I don't think that they need Trumaine Johnson. Talk about the cornerback, Trumaine Johnson that I'm thinking of right now. They're going to be fine at cornerback when Mosley comes back this week, and whenever Richard Sherman comes back, probably next week. So I'm not worried about it. I would not. Jose says, the 49ers sigh AJ Green. No, AJ Green is a Bengal right now. They can't sign him. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year, but he's been struggling this year, even with Joey Burrow throwing him the football. So, no, he's too old. You want to get younger, not older, especially for a team that's going to struggle to win 10 games. Domo says we need to cut to get more cap space. No, they're fine with cap space right now. They did a good job this offseason in clearing up and moving money, and you're going to lose some guys in the offseason, probably D Ford. You're going to lose his $14 million a year, and so they're going to be fine. They will have no issues. Wyatt says sign Earl Thomas. He would be helpful, but he also would cause a lot of problems in secondary and a lot of problems in the locker room, which is the issue I've said many times about him and other players like Antonio Brown. There's a reason he's still unsigned. There are teams that need safeties. The Niners could be one of them, and if they wanted him, they could sign him right now. He punched his own teammate. He's been a toxic locker room player. I don't see it happening anytime soon. Let's go for a few more questions here with Ariel saying trade for Desmond King. If Chargers keep losing, the Chargers are not going to keep losing, by the way. They've been very, very good. I know they lost on Sunday night, but Herbert is the real deal, and they love Desmond King. So the Chargers would not be trading for him. It's just not going to happen. Britt says draft cornerbacks in the draft this year or next year. Yeah, you probably do. I mean, Sherman, with the injuries this year, he's probably done after the end of this season. I would not resign him based on what I've seen from the injury standpoint. Unless he plays great for the final 8 games, I don't see it happening. So, yeah, I would draft a cornerback in the first round. Why not? Probably other needs, but I'd be fine with that. Should we sign Prince Amukamara? How about another cornerback? Prince Amukamara is old and washed up. I don't think he's better than anything you have on San Francisco right now. You got to remember, people are coming back. They're going to be healthy. So I just wouldn't. I just would not. I would also not re-sign Solomon Thomas because he, of course, has the season-ending injury. He's in a contract year. Even though he played well for 1 or 2 games, it's not enough for me to go ahead and re-sign him unless he would take a discounted deal, which maybe he does. But no, I would not re-sign Solomon Thomas unless he wants to take an uber cheap deal, which he probably won't. Alex says you think it was a mistake to take Kinlaw. No, Kinlaw's been very, very good this year. Kinlaw's been fantastic. Who else did you want, right? I mean, maybe a cornerback. A.J. Terrell was there. He's now a Falcon, but no, not a mistake at all. I think he's been very, very good, and I've been completely fine with Kinlaw. I think Ayuk is going to be the question now because some of these other wide receivers like a Chase Claypool, a Justin Jefferson, some of the other ones taken in the first and second round, I'm blanking on them right now. Van Jefferson have been better. Ayuk has been a little bit iffy, so that would be where I would go instead of Kinlaw.